Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. Today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these really cute seed bead heart rings. So this is what they look like. This is the band. So these are pretty simple and quick to make, so let's get started. So to make one of these you're going to need some size 11 seed beads. Now you can use delicate beads like I have done here, or you can use round seed beads. Ignore the colours because I was just trying something out, but this is like the size difference with round seed beads, so the heart is quite a bit bigger. These are size 11, but you can do it with either, it will work. So I'm going to be using size 11 delicas, and I'm just going to use this purple and then the same colour for the band. And that one is DB1872 if anyone wants to know, because it's the nicest sparkly like dark grey colour. And then you'll need some beading thread, and I'm going to use 6 pound fire line and a beading needle, and that's everything. So let's get started. So we're going to start with the heart, which is going to be brick stitch. We're going to do a base ladder row of 6 beads. So start by picking up 2 and slide those down onto your thread. You only need to leave a few inches at the end so that you can sew your thread in at the end, and then go up through the first bead. So you have this. Now you're coming out the top of this one, you're going to go down through that one next to it. Okay, so now we have 2. Picking up another, you're coming out the bottom of this one, you're going to go round and down through the top. So you've got this, and now up through that one you just added. So we've got a row of 3. So picking up another one, going back into that one that you're coming out of, but on the opposite side. And then down through the one you added. Okay, so we just need to add 2 more in the same way. So picking one up, going back into the one that you're coming out of on the opposite side. And then back through the one you just added, and add 1 more to make 6. Okay, so you should have a little row of 6 like this. So now to make it neat, straight and easier to work with, I'm going to sew all the way back to the other side by going up through the next one, down through the next one, up, down, all the way along. So up, pulling it tight after each pass through the bead, down, up, down and up. Pull that nice and tight, and now you should have this. So I'm going to flip it over like this, so I'm at the bottom, and we're going to begin the brick stitch. So start by picking up 1, and you've got these 5 like bridges of thread here between all the beads. So you're going to take your needle under the threads that connect the first bead to the second one, pull that down like that, and then go up through that bead from the bottom to the top like that, and then push it right down with your thumb, and you should have this. I do have a brick stitch and like an in-depth brick stitch tutorial on my channel if you want to check that out, if you haven't done this before and you need a bit more guidance. I will link that down below. So picking up another one, and this time you're going under that next thread bridge. So take your needle under those threads, pull that down, and sew up through that bead from bottom to top like that. Push that all the way down, so you have this. So again, picking up a bead, going under those next threads, and up through that bead. Pull it tight and you have this, so you need to do that 2 more times, so there's 2 more thread bridges to the end of the row. So you get to the end of the row, you should have this. Now we can work with it like this, it's a bit easier to hold. I'm going to turn it over so I'm holding it like this, my thread's coming out this top right bead. We're going to do another row exactly the same, but this time there's just going to be 4 spaces to add beads. So picking up 1, taking a needle under those first threads, pull that down and go through that bead from bottom to top. So you have this, so you need to do that all the way along, so 3 more times. So then you should have this. Now I'm going to flip it over again, and we're going to do the same again, but this time I'm just going to be adding 3 beads in this row. So go all the way along and then I'll show you what to do next. So we have this, again flip it over. This row you're just going to add 2 beads. So we have this, and finally you're just going to add 1 bead on the top, so in the same way as always, so just go under that last thread bridge, pull it down and go up through that bead. So now we have this. So now you need to travel all the way down this side. So you're coming out the top of this one, you're going to go down into this bead below. Like that. And now you need to travel down through all 4 of these on the side. So you're coming out this last bead on the end. Like that. Now we can turn it over so we're working at the top again. So now you're going to not do a full row, so I'm going to show you what to do this time. So you're going to pick up 1 and add that in the usual way under that first thread bridge. Okay, and we're going to add another one as well in the same way, so going under the second thread bridge. Like that. Now we're going to be working with the little bridge we've created at the top of those 2 beads. So picking up 1, so we're going under this thread bridge here. Pull that down and go up through that bead as always. So we have this. Now you're going to move down into the bead below and the one below that as well. So straight down through these 2 beads. Pull that nice and tight. So you're here. You're now going across this row that we start with. Going to go up through the next one, down through the one after that, and up through the next one. So you're coming out the top of this bead here, that's 3rd away from that end. When you pull the strings through each time, make sure you pull it tight so that that little thread that you're creating vanishes like inside. So now we're here, so you should be coming out of the 3rd bead from this end, and we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to pick up 1 and working right to left, you're going to go under the next thread bridge next to where your thread's coming out of. Pull that through and go through that bead from the bottom to the top, and now adding the last one under that last thread. Okay, so one more bead in the heart, and it's that one on the top of that little group of two we've just created. So go under the thread that connects those two together and back up through the bead. Okay, so that's our little heart all finished. So now we're just going to add the band. So to do that, I'm just going to turn it around. So I'm coming out the top of this one. I'm going to go down through these two like we did on the other side, down through these two underneath. Okay, so I'm coming out here, so that's where I'm going to attach my band from. It's just going to be, for the first part, right angle weave. So you're going to take your colour that you're using for your band, that could be the same or different, and you're going to start by picking up 3 of those and going back into that bead that you're coming out of, but on the opposite side, so that you're going to create a little circle of beads like that. Now you're going to travel through these 2 separately or together. So we have this, and we're going to do the same thing all the way around. So pick up 3, go back into that bead that you're coming out of on the opposite side, and move round through 2. Okay, pick up 3, go back into that bead that you're coming out of on the opposite side, and move round through 2. Make sure you keep it pulled nice and tight. So I would say do that until you can measure it around your finger and like this end meets the other side of the heart, because when you do the next part after that, it's going to shrink just slightly. So you want to make sure it definitely meets all the way around before you join this side to this side, because when we join it together, we're going to add an extra like unit, obviously, to join it to this side. So if you think that's going to make it too big, it probably won't, because the stage after that is going to shrink it back down again. So yeah, measure it around the finger that you want and make sure that meets all the way back to here. And then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I've kept going until I've got this length, and I'm going to measure it around this finger. It's a bit awkward, but so that's going to meet, and we're going to add one more little unit to join these 2 together. So most likely that will be quite big after I add that extra unit, but then like I said, it's going to shrink with the step after that. So to join the 2 sides together, I'm going to fold it over to the top of the heart. Make sure that it's not twisted when you do that, so keep it flat and fold it in half like this. So you need to find that starting row that you're joined to on the other side. So look all the way along and find that row. It's the starting row of 6 if you need to count the beads in the row. So it's this bead here that we're joining to, and this is where we're coming out of. So we're going to join it by picking up one of our band colour, coming out of this side. So I'm going to go into this side of my bead. If you're coming out of this side of this bead, you need to go into that side so it doesn't end up twisted. So I'm going to go into the heart. We're just creating another one of those little right angle weave units, but in separate parts. And one more, and we're coming out here. We're going to go back into that one on the band that we were starting from. Okay, now you can open it out. Now you've got this, I'm going to go through that a couple of times because that's the point of joining. I just want to make sure that's not going to come loose. And then you need to move through, so you're coming out of one of these beads on either side, so it can be this one or this one, depending on which way round you are oriented. like this. So now what we're going to be doing is putting single beads in between all of these ones that are down the sides of the right angle weave units. So picking up your first one and coming out of this one, you can go into the next right angle weave unit and go through the bead on the side like that. Picking up one, moving into the next right angle weave unit and going through the one on the side like that. Picking up one, going through the next bead on the side of the next unit. So you're going to do that all the way around the ring till you get to the other side, and then I'll show you how to swap over to the other side. So I've gone all the way along and I'm at the other end, and if you pull that tight it'll sort of half shrink up one side. So we're here, we're going to move to the other side, so you're just going to go through that bead that it's connected to on the heart, and then down through the bead on the side, the other side where you haven't added those extra beads. So I'm going to turn it around, and now I'm going to do the same all the way around this side as well. Okay, so I've gone all the way around and I've just added that, and I'm going to pull it really tight. You might feel it tighten up, and so that's the ring band done. So that should have tightened back up, hopefully not so much that it doesn't fit anymore. No, perfect. So that is the finished ring. So all that's left to do now is to tie your knots. So I'll just show you quickly how I'm going to tie one here. So I'm going to move back through this one on the heart and then back into the ring through a few beads. So I'll try and tie the knots like around the back of the ring if possible. So I'll move around a fair way, and then coming out of this bead here, you need to take your needle underneath and catch these threads that connect it to the next bead. If you don't catch those threads, then you're tying a knot with nothing. Make sure that doesn't get twisted so you know which way to go through it. Pull that down and go back through the loop 2 times. And pull it till it tightens. So we've got our knot there, and then move through a few beads again. Pull that really tight and that knot should disappear inside. And then you can tie as many as you want, and I always tie them on the band just because there's not much space for like getting away with it on the heart. So I'll tie them on the band, and then I'll cut this thread and move away from your knot, your last knot, before you cut your thread, or it will unravel over time. And then you can thread your needle onto your tail thread and do the same thing. So that's our finished rings. So I really like how these turn out, especially these sparkly silk inside beads that I used for the band. They're so nice. So again, this is what it looks like if you use round seed beads, but obviously it looks nicer with nicer colours, so ignore that. I was just trying to see what it would be like if you did the inside of the heart in a different colour, but I like it all the same. And this is with the delicate beads. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you're able to make one of these. Please let me know if you did. You can always send me a picture on Instagram at Beading by Hannah and follow me there. You can comment down below here anything else you'd like to see from me, and like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching everyone. See you next time. Bye.